Today on the channel, Halloween may be over, but those Ben Cooper kids never stop. Somebody get them off my front yard, but this time we're back again with Garfield, Alf, and Pee Wee Herman.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for take 2 of the latest and greatest Ben Cooper kids with Pee Wee Herman, Garfield, and Alf. And for all your Ben Cooper kid needs and a whole lot more, hit up jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Got to get a deal out there and a little something different with this one here, unfortunately, as I accidentally deleted the video. Yes, you heard it here first. I deleted this video. I did the whole video and I went to edit it. I said, where is this video? And I said, oh no, I accidentally deleted it and cleared all the space off my camera and it's lost forever. Lost forever. So no packaging, see you laters, none of that kind of stuff here today. We're just going to get down to the meat and potatoes. We're going to get down to the figures here. And normally this is where I give my spiel of how we're going to do this review, but it's a total different plot twist here as no packaging will be talked about. But it is unfortunate because I've said this before in other reviews. Action figures to me, it's about the figures at the end of the day, but I love the packaging. I love the design of the packaging, the picture selection of the packaging. I like the credits on the packaging. I love a good cross-sell. So the packaging is definitely a big part of the process for me, going all the way back to when I was a little kid. Unfortunately, we're not going to have that here today, but we're going to dive into it. We're going to go through it pretty quick here. We're going to start with Garfield, probably the second greatest orange cat. Todd and Farland, would you agree with that? You would agree, he would co-sign on that. The second best orange cat, as we all do know, Heathcliff, you're no good. That would be the number one orange cat of all time. Heathcliff, of course, an all-timer. I used to watch it on Nickelodeon as a kid. Maybe you watched it somewhere else, but love me self some Heathcliff is what I did. But shout out to Heathcliff, one of my favorite cartoons when I was a little kid. Always enjoyed it. And Garfield was okay as well. The voice of the cartoon of Garfield back in the 80s when it was on CBS on Saturdays or whatever, it was the same voice of Peter Venkman from the real Ghostbusters, which of course, Peter Venkman was played by Bill Murray in the Ghostbusters movie, and as a little kid, I thought he was doing the voice for Ghostbusters, and I assumed, well, he's also doing the voice of Garfield. He gets around. He's a guy that does some acting. But then many years later, wasn't Bill Murray actually Garfield? Wild times on that one. But we do get the bag accessory at this one. It is Garfield. Looks to be a pillowcase, which is really nice, actually. I like the idea of a pillowcase. How many kids, maybe you were one of them as a kid, you used a pillowcase for your treats? So that's on par. But it is Garfield on here. Classic Garfield. Old Jim Davis getting the most out of his artwork, as we know. So we do get that. And I really do like the wire in here. I forgot to mention that. There is wire in here. So you can bunch it up. You can do whatever you want for these no good Ben Cooper kids if you need to. As we can see, they all do fit on ringside collectible stands. But we got Garfield looking interesting here, looking like a big cat. Now, this is a girl. Every once in a while, we do get girl members of the Ben Cooper kid army. Girl this time got the ponytail up top. Big old Garfield mask going on, the big two eyes, the big old smile. Looks like he's ready for some lasagna. We know what Garfield's up to. Looking good here. Got the big jumpsuit there in the orange, almost like tiger stripes is almost what it reminds you of. But does look good. It says 2025 Paws Inc. They must own the branding of one Garfield. Got white shoes down here, looking good. No real issues with this Garfield for me. It looks like Garfield. Tastes like Garfield. Tastes like lasagna, in all honesty. But looks good here. Good graphics. Jim Davis on the front once again. It is Garfield, and as I said, she does fit on a ringside collectible stand. Not a bad piece of business for old Garfield there. But now we're moving our attention over to Alf, and it's about time we get an Alf Ben Cooper kid. Would like to get Seinfeld's mom. We always got to throw her out there. Yep, Willie Tanner as well. That'd be a good one. You know we're here for Willie Tanner. We do get a trick-or-treat bag. We've seen this one in the past. We'll see it again. We know how that goes. So we've seen that before. But Alf, an all-timer from the 80s, and all-timer in the Ben Cooper kid outfit right here. I would have dressed up as this as a little kid. I loved Alf, and I've tried to watch Alf since. Doesn't hit as hard as it did when I was a kid, but I still respect the Alf. I always respect the Alf. And think of that as me saying that in the Iron Sheik's voice. I respect the Alf. Yeah, if you know, you know. But Alf looking good here, looking a little crazy, almost looking like a bear or something, like a mix of an anteater and a bear is what it looks like in the face here. I guess I would know this as Alf, but I can see some people confused on this a little bit. You got those black eyebrows on there. You got the kid's eyes back there as well. Got some teeth showing. Got that snout. That classic Alf snout. Looks to be a little boy. Got the blonde hair in the back. Looking pretty good. And then you got Alf in the front here. It does say trick or treat, no problem. Of course. And read that in Alf's voice as well. Alf on the front. You got the red pajamas all over except the blue and the t-shirt. Looking very nice. Now arms go all the way around on these. Bicep cut. Double jointed pinned elbows, hands back and forth, side to side. Hands are always the gripping hands on these. Dumbbell joint up top if you need it. No waist, but legs do go up. You got to bend at the knee. You get the ankles back and forth. That's the same articulation across the board on these three figures. So we don't need to walk through all of it there. But old Alf, he also fits on a ringside collectible stand. Using code Kyle, save 10%. How about that? And he fell right off that stand. What are we doing, Alf? There we go. Alf ready to party as usual and maybe eat a cat or two along the way. We know what Alf's up to. Got to keep him and Garfield separate. We know how that goes. Alf will eat him up real quick. Very much dangerous right here at the table. But we're going to bring it all home again like a young Bob Dylan back in the 60s with Pee Wee Herman, one of the all-time classics of the 80s. And I guess we're playing a lot of 80s hits here in this Ben Cooper unboxing. Pee Wee's Playhouse. You got the pillowcase once again, the classic Pee Wee logo on there. We all know Pee Wee. If you're in the 80s and 90s, you know Pee Wee for sure. Pee Wee also fitting on a ringside stand, as you can imagine. But it's all day Pee Wee. Now, a controversial costume back in the day is, I was a fan of Pee Wee, but I would have never dressed up as Pee Wee. You would have got beat up if you were dressing as Pee Wee on Trick or Treat as a kid. This is pre-Pee Wee scandals even more so after the scandals. But, you know, we all respected the Pee Wee. Once again, think of that in the Iron Sheik's voice. We respected the Pee Wee, but we wouldn't dress up as the Pee Wee. That was a touch too far, and you're just, it's a recipe to get beat up if you would have done that. So I would have never dressed as Pee Wee, but I enjoyed Saturday mornings watching Pee Wee. I love Pee Wee and his big adventure, his time at the big top, all that, and all points in between. Pee Wee an all-timer here. Now, crazy mask on Pee Wee. Looks like Pee Wee, though. Kid haircut back here, brown hair, looks like young Kyle is what it looks like. But I can tell you right now, I never dressed as Pee Wee. I never dressed as Pee Wee. But I respected the Pee Wee. maybe not. But he has got his Pee Wee Herman suit here. You got the bow tie as well. Looks like a classic costume. I can imagine this being a costume once upon a time, as it was, as we know. White shoes down low. Same articulation across the board on all these. We know that by now. Pretty plain Jane on Pee Wee, but boy, it hits home. We know this is Pee Wee when we see it. And we've had quite a few NECA Pee Wees the last couple of years. The Ultimate Pee Wee, which is a little bit disappointing this year. Maybe more on that soon on the channel, as we did unbox it once upon a time. There was that one, and then we got the Toonie Terrors version, or whatever you call it for Pee Wee. Was it a terror? Not exactly sure, but he also, as we talked about, fits on the ringside stand. Not bad, though. Pee Wee, Alf, and Garfield, 380s classics here. The Ben Cooper line keeps growing and growing and growing with no points of stopping anytime soon. I think they could bring this line on forever. Has to be pretty cheap to produce. They already have most of these licenses for Ultimates and Toonie Terrors and things like that. So you make them into here, makes it pretty easy. It'll be interesting if we get like an Elvira one of these. That'd be interesting as well. We'll see what happens here. But I do enjoy the Ben Cooper Kids, a fun ancillary collection. It's one of those ones, when they come, they come. You just wait for them. They're about $20 and change. You pick them up at Jay's Toys and Games if you want to. They don't stress you out like some of the other toy line collectibles. Stress you out from time to time. I know how it is. But this is a fun little ancillary one, especially coming after the Halloween season we're in right now. The Kiss ones, we should have those unboxed on the channel fairly soon. And then I think there's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collection as well. So no signs of slowing down. NECA sees a cash cow and they're going to bring it all the way home. We know how that goes as well. But there it is. Alf, Garfield, and Pee Wee Herman. Be interested to hear your thoughts on these three in the comments down below. Were you ever any of these as a kid in costume form? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down there. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some. We got even more content for you on Patreon. Patreon, the best way to support this YouTube channel and all the content it does bring. Appreciate all the support over there. You can also check out YouTube channel memberships if you like. Sir Paul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com, which conveniently enough is the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show. Available every Tuesday wherever podcasts are found with video cast on YouTube. So for another round of Ben Cooper Kids, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
For me.